So today, one of my Aztekium Ritteri are in bloom. So I'm going to try to pollinate this beautiful flower. It is very small, so it will be difficult. So I will try and show you, if your Aztekium Ritteri comes into bloom, how you can try and self-pollinate. Now, if you have another Ritteri in bloom, at the same time you can cross-pollinate to get a better yield of your fruit, as self-pollination tends to result in a lower amount of seeds per fruit. But nonetheless, if you only have one that's flowering, you should still be able to get a fruit out of it if you follow these pollination steps. So the first thing that you will want to do is get some isopropyl alcohol, a paper towel, and some fine tweezers, and you will sprinkle some of the isopropyl alcohol onto your paper towel and sanitize your tweezers. So I'm doing this one-handed here because I'm filming, obviously, but you can feel free to use both hands. You can probably do a better job and make sure that this is very clean. And you're going to want it to be completely dry before you actually start pollinating. Okay, so now my tweezers are dry. And what I'm going to do is very gently take the pollen from the plant here. You can see I've taken them off gently and put them directly on the pistil. I'm going to try and pack them in there and get them on there as best I can. It's very small, so it's really kind of hard to do this. But with enough practice and patience and a steady hand, you should be able to do this. Now there's a fair bit of pollen, so you should be able to get this going here, even if you don't get it on your first try. Just kind of rub that around on there. Ideally, you want to get it down inside of the pistil, but it's just so small that it's often really hard to do this. So just try and do that as best you can. There's a lot of pollen, so you can take your time. You can try a few times, and the more pollen you get on there, I think the higher your chances of fruit and a lot of seed are. But again, you'll have even higher chances if you have another Aztekium Ritteri flower that's in bloom as well, because cross-pollination tends to lead to higher fruit. I'm not sure why exactly that is, but that's just the kind of generally accepted notion on these. So once you've got a good deal of pollen on there and into your stamen brushed on there, you can either call it a day or keep going until all your pollen is gone. Personally, I like to save a bit of pollen and bag it up just in case another flower happens to bloom on another plant. That way I can get a pretty good yield out of that and have bigger fruit. So as you can see, I'm just kind of gently brushing that on there. See if I can get this here. So your flower may or may not close up in the next few hours and might reopen again the next day, but if you've pollinated it, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. It'll start to retract after a few days and kind of shrivel up, and at that point you'll have to wait quite a while, I would say a couple months, before you might see a fruit pod. You know, sometimes they can take up to 3 or 4 months even before they actually push the fruit pod out, at which point you can harvest them. But I would wait until the fruit pods are completely dried up before you harvest them, and that way you know that the seeds will be viable. Thanks for watching, and please be sure to like, comment, subscribe for more cactus content.